Hello, everyone. Inside Windsor Castle, everything changed the moment Princess Anne delivered a sealed letter with a final request from King Charles. When Prince William, the heir to the throne, heard its contents, he was left utterly shaken. What could this request possibly be that brought even a future king to tears? Join us as we dive into the truth behind this shocking moment and what it means for the future of the royal family. Before we dive in, here's a big question. Was King Charles's decision to bet his future on Catherine a stroke of genius or a risky gamble? Let us know your thoughts. Comment 1 if you believe it was genius, and 0 if you think it was a gamble. Now, sit back, enjoy the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can decode the royal secrets together. King Charles's final request was completely unexpected. When Princess Anne opened the sealed letter from the king, no one in the room was prepared for what it contained. Everyone assumed the message would center around Prince William, the heir to the throne. After all, that's how it had always been. But in a surprising twist, King Charles, even in his final moments, broke tradition. The letter wasn't about William, it was about Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. As Anne read the words aloud, a heavy silence fell over the room. The senior royals, who had witnessed decades of tradition unfold before them, sat frozen, their eyes wide in shock. Prince William himself appeared stunned, not out of jealousy or embarrassment, but because he knew that this moment would alter everything. It was as if history was being rewritten right there in the drawing room of Windsor Castle. Catherine had long been admired by the public for her elegance, poise, and grace under pressure. But this was something different. This went beyond admiration. King Charles's final message recognized her as indispensable to the future of the monarchy. She was no longer just William's wife, not merely a future princess, but a force in her own right. In the letter, Charles described Catherine as the true heart of the modern monarchy. He praised her quiet strength, her remarkable ability to connect with people, and her calm presence during the family's darkest moments. He even referred to her as the royal compass, a phrase that reportedly moved Princess Anne to tears. The letter made it abundantly clear that the survival and prosperity of the monarchy rested on Catherine as much, if not more, than on the heir himself. This powerful message shattered centuries of tradition, where succession planning had always been centered on males, bloodlines, and birthrights. King Charles III's words about Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, marked a profound and pivotal shift in how the modern monarchy should be perceived. It was a clear acknowledgement that the stability and vitality of the royal family in today's complex and turbulent world require more than just traditional titles or formal ceremonies. It demands public trust, genuine warmth, and a figure who the public can truly feel connected to, someone approachable and relatable. In Charles's eyes, Catherine has embodied this role brilliantly, becoming an indispensable cornerstone for the future of the royal family. What made King Charles's reference to Catherine so impactful was that it wasn't merely sentimental or personal, but strategic and visionary. King Charles had long observed how Catherine navigated everything from intense media pressure and relentless scrutiny to family scandals, handling each challenge with poise, grace, and remarkable competence. He recognized that Catherine had become the most trusted figure in the monarchy in the eyes of the public, especially among the younger generation, a crucial factor for the royal family's future survival and growth. By making Catherine the focal point of his final message before abdicating, King Charles was not attempting to sideline Prince William. On the contrary, he was reinforcing William's position by affirming the immense value and indispensable role of his partner. What Charles was conveying was clear. This is your partner, not only in marriage but in the monarchy. Trust her and follow her lead. It was a profound act of entrustment, encouragement, and guidance from a seasoned king to his successor, ensuring that the future of the monarchy would be shared and strengthened through their unity. The message also hinted at a future monarchy that would be markedly different from what we know today. It would be less rigid in its rules and rituals, more emotionally attuned in its approach to the public, and focused more on partnerships between the royals and the people than on preserving traditional hierarchies. Charles's words were not merely a tribute to Catherine, but also a guiding beacon, charting a new course for the royal family in a new era, one that prioritizes understanding, connection, and a deeper bond with the public. Yet, for all the carefully curated public moments, there were also heart-wrenchingly private and raw ones. No cameras were there to capture them. No crowds to witness the future king crumble under the weight of the responsibilities he was about to inherit. In the quiet, intimate confines of Windsor Castle, William's mental breakdown was a deeply human moment, raw and unguarded. It wasn't a dramatic outburst or a royal scandal for the public eye. It was a quiet storm, a profound pain so hidden that it spoke volumes about the centuries of expectation pressing down on him. Yet, for all the carefully curated public moments, there were also heart-wrenchingly private and raw ones. No cameras were there to capture them. No crowds to witness the future king crumble under the weight of the responsibilities he was about to inherit. In the quiet, intimate confines of Windsor Castle, William's mental breakdown was a deeply human moment, raw and unguarded. It wasn't a dramatic outburst or a royal scandal for the public eye. It was a quiet storm, a profound pain so hidden that it spoke volumes about the centuries of expectation pressing down on him. It began with a breath. As Princess and Red King Charles's final request, William's breath caught in his throat. For a few moments, he didn't move, frozen in place, before his shoulders slowly slumped, as if the full weight of the British monarchy had suddenly descended upon him. His hands gripped the polished mahogany table, knuckles turning white. Tears welled in his eyes, not tears of grief, but of something far deeper. The crushing pressure, a struggle with his own identity, and a profound sense of confusion, all colliding in that moment. This event is not just a family story, it has the power to reshape an entire dynasty. So, what kind of future do you envision for the royal family? The traditional model with a king at the center of power? Comment 2 for that. Or the modern partnership model, where William and Catherine share the responsibility together? Comment 5 if that's your choice. Let us know your thoughts, enjoy the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any developments in this new chapter of history. This wasn't about being ignored. It was about confronting a truth for which he was unprepared. William had spent 41 years shaped by tradition. Every aspect of his life, his education, military training, and public service, had been crafted with a single purpose: to become the next king. He had been taught to lead, to preserve the throne, and to carry the weight of the royal legacy. But now, in his father's final message, the spotlight subtly shifted, not to him, but to Catherine. There was no bitterness, yet a quiet shattering of expectations lingered. The story he had grown up with, the narrative he had been taught his whole life, was unfolding differently, right before his eyes. What happens when everything you've prepared for suddenly looks different? That was the reality William faced in that room. It wasn't jealousy or resentment. It was the shock of realizing that tradition was giving way to change, and that his wife was being recognized as the central figure in that transformation. The pressure wasn't just personal, it was institutional. The monarchy, more than 1,000 years old, was evolving at a pace no one had anticipated. And William, who had believed he had time to fully step into his role, now found himself facing a future where he wouldn't lead alone, nor would he always be at the forefront. Instead, he was standing beside the person the world, and now his father, saw as the monarchy's anchor. And then there was Catherine, who didn't flinch, didn't cry, didn't whisper a word. Instead, she moved closer to William and placed a steady hand on his shoulder. Nothing more, but that was all she needed to do. Her presence alone was enough. Sometimes the greatest form of support is silence. Catherine's calm wasn't born from indifference. It came from profound strength. She was always steady, but in that moment, her calm became her power. While the others in the room were swept up in emotion, she stood unwavering, a silent pillar of support, gently reminding William that he had nothing to lose. He was part of something much greater. The future of the royal family may lie not in a single monarch, but in a shared throne. Queen Elizabeth's prophetic vision seemed to come to life as the royal family sat in stunned silence after hearing King Charles's final request. In that moment, Princess Anne quietly reached for a second envelope. Unlike the official letter from the king with its solemn red wax seal, this envelope was smaller and simpler. It carried the unmistakable handwriting of the late Queen Elizabeth II, a mark of something deeply personal. It was a handwritten note, carefully filed away years before her death in September 2022. Queen Elizabeth II, with the wisdom and experience gained from decades of royal ups and downs, once made a profound remark about Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. She will be the pillar that holds them all up. What makes this comment particularly striking is that it was not directed at the central figures traditionally associated with the monarchy, such as Queen Camilla, Princess Anne, or even the future King William. This prediction was made years before King Charles's health began to decline, before the question of succession became pressing, and long before Catherine's role began to evolve so significantly. This was not a fleeting thought, but a quiet, thoughtful prediction, revealing the Queen's deep understanding of what would be needed to ensure the monarchy's future stability. The Queen's choice was not born of personal sentiment or family ties, but from careful, objective observation. She had watched Catherine endure years of intense public scrutiny, family upheaval, and the shifting expectations of royal life. Through it all, Catherine remained remarkably composed, graceful, and steady. Perhaps the Queen saw in Catherine a rare and invaluable ability to withstand pressure without faltering, a quality essential for anyone poised to shoulder such immense responsibility. One of Catherine's most striking qualities is her remarkable resilience. Despite the relentless media storms, the dramatic departure of Meghan and Harry, and ongoing family tensions, Catherine has consistently remained calm and unshaken. She has upheld her elegance and poise in every situation, demonstrating an extraordinary inner strength. Queen Elizabeth, who weathered countless challenges throughout her reign, surely recognized this ability to stand firm in the storm in Catherine. The Queen understood that royal titles may be bestowed, but true stability is revealed in moments of chaos. Moreover, the Queen likely saw in Catherine an unwavering dedication to her royal duties and responsibilities. Catherine has consistently demonstrated professionalism, a strong work ethic in her public engagements, and a deep commitment to her role within the royal family. This steady reliability, coupled with her genuine ability to connect with the public, has reinforced the monarchy's image. These are qualities that Queen Elizabeth II, known for her lifelong devotion to service, would undoubtedly value and trust. Catherine doesn't just fulfill her duties. She brings a sense of steadfastness and dependability that the Queen recognized as essential to preserving the institution. Queen Elizabeth's prediction of Catherine as a pillar was not a gesture of sentimentality, but the result of a sharp and insightful observation of a woman who had consistently demonstrated exceptional character. The Queen saw in Catherine the resilience, adaptability, and dedication, along with the solid temperament necessary to face the greatest challenges. In the uncertain future of the royal family, Catherine has proven herself to be a stabilizing force, a steadfast support for both the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, just as the Queen had recognized and believed long ago. The Queen recognized Catherine's remarkable ability to soften difficult moments, to adhere to royal protocol while maintaining a modern sensibility. She watched Catherine raise a young family, support William with quiet strength, and never allow the pressures of palace life to overshadow her role as wife and mother. These weren't just admirable traits. They were essential survival traits for a modern monarchy. And then came Princess Anne's moment. As the weight of both messages settled in the room, Anne's gaze shifted directly to Catherine, not William. With a conviction that only Anne could muster, she declared, "Catherine was born to play this role." There was no dramatic pause, no need for justification. Anne's words were simple but resolute. Having served 3 generations of royals, she knew what true leadership looked like. Catherine's influence was not manufactured or shaped by the media. It was authentic, and had seen it in the way Catherine listened, how she acted, and how she never allowed the spotlight to distract from her true purpose. In a family where every move was scrutinized, authenticity was the rarest of qualities, and Catherine possessed it in abundance. With Anne's endorsement and Queen Elizabeth's prophetic note, the message is now undeniable. Catherine is not just a member of the monarchy. She is at its very heart, not by title but by conviction. Long before she walked the halls of palaces or graced magazine covers across the globe, Catherine Middleton lived a life that, by royal standards, could be considered quietly ordinary. Raised in the scenic countryside of Berkshire, she grew up in a middle-class family grounded in warmth, hard work, and dignity. Her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, built their business from the ground up, instilling in their children the value of effort and perseverance, rather than relying on privilege. Catherine's upbringing was far from flashy or attention-seeking. Instead, it was grounded in values that many would recognize. Practicality, common sense, courtesy, and respect for others, regardless of their status. These weren't just family values. They became the guiding principles for the future Duchess of Cambridge. In many ways, it was this sense of normality that became her greatest strength. Long before she wore the crown, Catherine carried herself with a confidence that was earned, not given, and that made all the difference. During her years at Marlborough College, Catherine was never the loudest voice in the room or the center of any social circle. However, those who knew her described her as dependable, thoughtful, and quietly confident. She excelled in group work, not because she sought the limelight, but because others could trust her to get the job done with grace and composure. Even back then, there was something unshakable about her. But her true turning point came at the University of St. Andrews. It wasn't just the place where she studied art history, it was where she met Prince William. While the media often portrays it as a fairy tale moment, the reality was much more grounded. They met as students, equals, and friends first, and only later did their relationship evolve. There was no script, no grand design, just a natural progression. The future of the monarchy didn't begin with a crown. It started with a simple cup of coffee between 2 classmates. From that humble beginning, something extraordinary blossomed. Catherine never pretended to be anyone other than herself, even under the constant scrutiny of the royal family. She remained true to herself. No scandals, no tabloid feuds, no image-making, just unwavering consistency, a rare and valued trait in royal circles. Her relationship with William was allowed to unfold naturally, without rushing. The couple dated for nearly a decade before marrying, giving them both time to grow, adapt, and truly understand one another. It also gave Catherine the time she needed to grasp what life within the royal family would truly entail. But perhaps the most remarkable part of Catherine's journey is not just how far she has come, but how she has managed to stay true to herself every step of the way. In a world defined by roles and rituals, Catherine never stopped being Kate, and that's why people trusted her. She entered the royal family not with a dramatic flourish, but with quiet tenacity. She didn't seek to transform the monarchy overnight. Instead, she gradually became the change through patience, integrity, and unwavering reliability. Her ascent was not immediate, but a slow and steady process, defined by authenticity. The wedding itself was a testament to her strength. On April 29, 2011, more than 2.5 billion people around the world watched the wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton, a moment that revealed not only their union but Catherine's steady rise as a pillar within the royal family. What unfolded at Westminster Abbey was more than a royal spectacle. It was a turning point, not just for the couple, but for the monarchy itself. After years of tabloid scandals, public distrust, and generational shifts, the moment offered something rare: hope. It wasn't merely a wedding. It was a quiet reintroduction of dignity and continuity to an ancient institution. Though it resembled a fairy tale, it revealed something far more powerful: Catherine's unshakable strength. When Catherine stepped out of her carriage at Westminster Abbey on her wedding day, the world collectively held its breath. Her breathtaking wedding dress, designed by Sarah Burton, instantly became a fashion icon, admired and praised around the globe. Yet, what truly captivated everyone wasn't just the splendor of her gown, but the bride's remarkable poise. From the moment Catherine's feet touched the historic stone steps leading to the abbey, she radiated a rare sense of calm, elegance, and focus that left an indelible impression on all who witnessed it. Catherine's walk down the aisle was neither hurried nor hesitant. Every step was measured with grace, her posture straight and her expression serene, radiating an inner confidence. She was not overwhelmed by the weight of the centuries of history surrounding her in Westminster Abbey. Instead, she seemed to blend into it effortlessly, despite not coming from an aristocratic background and standing before royals, world leaders, and a global audience of billions. Catherine exuded a quiet strength that made everyone feel she truly belonged, an indispensable part of this grand historical moment. Inside the convent, amid the constant flash of cameras and the gaze of the world, Catherine's presence remained unwavering. There was no hint of confusion, no anxious glances, no hesitation. She appeared completely in control of her emotions, radiating absolute confidence. This calm and composure were not just those of a bride on her special day, but of someone profoundly aware of the immense responsibility she was about to embrace, a role far greater than that of a bride. Catherine did not merely step into the role of a bride entering a royal marriage. She embraced the responsibility of a future princess with grace and a deep awareness of what lay ahead. She understood that this was not just a romantic kiss on the balcony of Buckingham Palace or a day of celebration, but the beginning of a lifelong commitment. Her maturity and understanding were evident in every gesture and expression, signaling that she was fully prepared to face the challenges and meet the expectations of royal life. The wedding day was not just a personal milestone, but a powerful testament to Catherine's character. With poise and self-control, she showed that she was not merely a choice of love, but a resilient individual capable of playing a crucial role in the future of the British monarchy. It was a defining moment, not only for Catherine herself, but also a promising glimpse of the stability and grace she would bring to the royal family in the years ahead. When Catherine and William stepped onto the balcony of Buckingham Palace for their long-awaited kiss, it felt like a modern fairy tale. Yet, that moment also marked the beginning of something much more profound. From that day forward, Catherine's life would be under constant scrutiny. Her every move dissected, and she was ready. The power displayed at the wedding wasn't spontaneous. It was the culmination of years of quiet preparation. Catherine had faced media pressure long before her wedding day, and rather than flinching, she learned to manage it with poise and grace. She never sought the spotlight, but she also never appeared fazed by it. Whether it was paparazzi hiding in the bushes or invasive tabloid headlines, Catherine handled it all with grace and dignity. Since that moment, her calm composure has become one of the royal family's greatest strengths. After a lavish wedding watched by billions, many anticipated a fairy tale sequel. But for Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, the real journey as a royal began immediately, and it was far from tiaras and garden parties. The transition from private citizen to full-time working royal brought with it immense pressure and constant public scrutiny. The wedding dress came off, the cameras turned off, and the real work began. Since becoming a royal, Catherine's every move has been scrutinized. What she wears, how she walks, what she says, and even the way she looks at William have become subjects of global discussion. A simple smile can make headlines. A subtle change in outfit can ignite debates across social media. Royal watchers analyze her every gesture, while tabloids compare her to Princess Diana, often unfairly. Even routine shopping trips make the front page. Yet, behind the glamour and media frenzy, daily life as a royal is far from glamorous. It's not about fame, it's about endurance. Catherine quickly found herself immersed in royal duties, attending countless ceremonies and fulfilling obligations that demanded long hours, often with little rest. Life as a senior royal is far from the glamorous public appearances that often define it. Behind the scenes, it's a relentless stream of engagements, where Catherine must shake hands with hundreds of strangers, uphold impeccable manners, and navigate countless polite conversations, many of which blur together by the end of the day. Official trips spanning multiple continents demand a grueling schedule, constant travel, and millions of eyes scrutinizing her every move. These pressures are an inescapable part of the role, requiring the Duchess of Cambridge to remain not only patient, but also consistently professional. However, the most challenging moments often came when the cameras were not rolling. Away from the spotlight, Catherine had to adjust to a life with little privacy and even less genuine rest. There were undoubtedly quiet moments of doubt, exhaustion, and pressure, particularly as she juggled her demanding royal duties with raising a young family, all under the relentless scrutiny of the world. Her ability to endure and rise above these unseen challenges speaks volumes about her mental fortitude and resilience. What makes Catherine's transformation and adaptation truly remarkable is the quiet, discreet way in which she has handled it all. There have been no dramatic speeches to stir controversy, no headline-grabbing interviews, and no attempts to radically or suddenly reshape the monarchy. Instead, she has orchestrated a quiet revolution, a subtle yet profound shift in how the royal family connects with the public. Through her example and consistent actions, she has led this change with grace and dignity. Catherine's influence has grown not through bold declarations or sensational moves, but through the quiet consistency of her actions. The stability and confidence she radiates has fostered a deep sense of trust among the public. Her charitable work, particularly in the fields of early childhood development and mental health, reflects a profound understanding of the long-term impact these issues have on society. She doesn't just go through the motions. She invests her heart into her work, driving meaningful change within her community. Catherine's decision to quietly contribute and adapt, rather than complain or retreat, has firmly defined her place in the modern royal family. She has become a beacon of resilience and service, effortlessly balancing tradition with innovation. It is these qualities, combined with her ability to remain calm and dependable under pressure, that have solidified her role as a pillar for the future of the monarchy, just as Queen Elizabeth II had foreseen. She didn't chase headlines. Instead, she made real change, visiting hospitals, meeting parents, and lending her time and influence to causes that were often overlooked. Her leadership style was subtle yet powerful. She didn't seek the spotlight, but she always commanded respect. Staff, fellow royals, and the public alike recognized her reliability, thoughtful approach, and unwavering sense of duty. Over time, Catherine not only integrated into the monarchy, but the monarchy itself began to evolve around her strengths. She didn't just adapt to royal life, she refined it. In an era when public opinion about the monarchy fluctuated wildly, Catherine became a symbol of stability, not through force, but by example, not through privilege, but by presence. As traditions evolved and roles shifted, her steady hand and quiet grace became a model for what the modern royal family could be. Catherine's rise to prominence didn't just shape her personal legacy. It played a pivotal role in reshaping the very structure of the monarchy. For centuries, royal leadership had been defined by male heirs, titles, and a rigid sense of duty. Catherine, however, redefined what it means to be a leader in the royal family. But times are changing. The monarchy is moving away from tradition for tradition's sake and embracing a focus on competence, presence, and partnership. Catherine embodies this shift. She was not born into royalty, nor was she part of the aristocracy, yet she has become one of the most respected figures in the royal family. Sometimes, the strongest leaders are those who never sought to lead, and Catherine perfectly fits this role. Historically, monarchies have centered around a male figure, either the king or heir apparent, with women often relegated to the roles of wives, supporters, or symbols. Catherine has changed that dynamic. Catherine's journey demonstrated that power, stability, and leadership could emerge from anyone, regardless of title or tradition. Her influence wasn't rooted in bloodline. It stemmed from her actions, from how she carried herself, not just where she stood. This was a monumental shift, a sign that monarchies were beginning to value partnership over hierarchy. While William may have been the future king, Catherine proved she was far more than just a supportive wife. She was his partner in duty, leadership, and public trust. The crown may rest on one head, but its weight is shared, and Catherine bore it with unwavering grace. Catherine's role also transformed the way people viewed the monarchy. She became a bridge, seamlessly connecting royal traditions with modern values. She didn't reject the past, but instead helped the monarchy engage with today's world. Catherine demonstrated that royalty could be both respectful and approachable, formal yet human. That balance, rare and vital, is especially crucial in an age when institutions everywhere are under pressure to stay relevant. Catherine introduced a modern power, not loud or demanding, but calm, steady, and trustworthy. She became a stabilizing force not only in the public eye but within the royal family itself. When Catherine stepped out of her vintage Rolls-Royce in front of Westminster Abbey on April 29, 2011, the world held its breath. A billion eyes were fixed on the future bride of the British royal family. Her stunning ivory wedding dress, designed by Sarah Burton of Alexander McQueen, immediately became an iconic piece of fashion history. Yet, it wasn't just the breathtaking beauty of the gown that captivated the world. It was Catherine's extraordinary poise and confidence. From the moment her feet touched the cobblestones leading to the altar, she radiated calm, composure, and focus. Unshaken by the immense pressure of such a historic event, Catherine carried herself with grace, fully aware that millions were watching every moment unfold. Catherine's walk down the aisle of Westminster Abbey was neither rushed nor uncertain. Each step was deliberate, graceful, and confident. Her upright posture, serene expression, and steady gaze radiated an inner beauty and remarkable spiritual strength. She did not appear overwhelmed by the weight of the centuries of history that surrounded her within the Abbey's walls. Instead, she blended into it effortlessly, as if it were part of her. For someone not born into nobility, standing before a host of senior royals, heads of state, and billions of viewers demanded extraordinary courage. Catherine's quiet strength conveyed one clear message to everyone present. Not only did she belong there, but she was destined to embrace this role with grace and poise. Inside the Abbey, amidst the solemn atmosphere and the constant flash of cameras, with the eyes of the world focused on small screens, Catherine's presence remained unwavering and steady. There was no stammering during her vows, no anxious glances seeking reassurance, and not the slightest hint of hesitation. She was entirely in control of her emotions and the moment, demonstrating an exceptional composure under immense pressure. Catherine didn't merely step into the role of a bride on the most important day of her life. She embraced the monumental responsibility of a future princess, carrying it with grace, intelligence, and a profound understanding of the challenges that lay ahead. Catherine, the bride, understood that this moment was not merely a romantic kiss on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, cheered on by the crowd. It was the beginning of a lifelong mission, a journey brimming with challenges and responsibilities, not just for the royal family, but for the people. This maturity, awareness, and profound sense of duty were evident in every gesture and glance she made throughout the ceremony. It was clear that Catherine was mentally prepared to shoulder the immense expectations and constant challenges that come with royal life. For Catherine, that wedding day was not only a personal milestone, but also a testament to her character and inner strength. With unwavering calm and composure, she showed that she was not just a woman chosen by love, but a resilient and capable individual, ready to embrace a crucial role in the future of the British monarchy. It was a defining moment, not only for Catherine herself, but also a glimpse into the future stability, grace, and strength she would bring to the royal family for decades to come. A request has been made, and with it, the British royal family turns a new page in its history. King Charles has entrusted Catherine with the essence of the future dynasty, where power no longer stems from bloodline, but from resonance and trust. Is this the key to their survival? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so we can continue unraveling this incredible story together. Thank you, and see you in the next chapter of history.